Always great catching up with my next guest, Nik Lentz. He's going to be back in action taking on Mike Grundy at UFC Fight Night on January 16th on Fight Island. Nik, how's it going, man?
Good. Life is good, man. Life is good.
Good to hear, man. Good to talk to you. Now, people are wondering why you're wearing the glasses. You're not doing like a Corey Hart thing here. It's you were at the doctor's getting your eyes cleared and all that, right?
Yeah, I had to get my eye cleared from the injury, and I had to get them dilated. So I can't see the text. I can't really see the screen all that well. I take them off, and then I have these crappy gas station ones. I have like nicer nicer designer sunglasses, but it turns out they don't actually block any sun.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
It's kind of useless. So I use these like $5 gas station ones instead.
No worries. No one's here to judge, Nik. It's all good. Great to see you back in action, man. It's going to be, I think, close to a year since your last fight. Of course, you fought in January. This fight's in January. You talked about the injury. What injuries have you been dealing with for those who might not know?
Well, in my last fight, the fight was going well. In the second round, I got an eye poke, and it kind of felt a little funny at first. Like my vision was a little blurry and stuff. And then in the third round, like 10 seconds into the third round, I got poked really bad in the eye, and I ended up having like triple vision. So from that moment on, I was like 4.5 minutes left in the fight. I was fighting like 3 guys. And I was just trying to hit the one in the middle, I guess, and I didn't work it out at the time because I don't know if like I've never had this happen, but in the fight, like I was trying to close the eye, but it turns out it's really hard to try to close your eyes when someone's trying to punch at you. It just automatically opens. And every time, if I could keep the left eye closed, I could see one person, but the second that it opened, I saw 3 people. So it was kind of a crappy situation. And then the fight continued, and after the fight, I couldn't even get out of the cage. Like I couldn't see the steps, I couldn't see anything, and my vision didn't return to normal for 9 months after that.
Whoa, really?
Until I had surgery, and I had to see a series of doctors. No one could really figure out what the problem was, because the eye itself had healed, but I still couldn't see right. I still had terrible double vision. And I went to specialists, and finally I found one, and I got a pretty risky eye surgery. And they told me that there was a high chance. It was kind of a depressing time because I went to the doctor, and I was excited. I finally got a doctor that knew what they were doing. I thought like everything was well, and he was pretty much straight up said like, hey, I might be able to help you, but there's a greater chance than half that we could do surgery and nothing's going to happen, and your eye's just not going to work right. And so at that point, if my eye had not, so I got the surgery, and if it had not fixed and I had not seen double, I would have had to remove the eye. So yeah, so because seeing with one eye is better than seeing double. So, and when they were both together, I had terrible double vision, so I couldn't do anything. So it was a scary 9 months. There was a lot of times where this might have been it. This injury might have been my career. It might have been, on to the next phase of life. So this is a big fight for me, and the surgery went well, and it ended up, fixing the eye relatively well. So I feel good, and that's what happened.
That's nuts, man. Well, glad to hear everything's okay. I didn't realize it was that severe in terms of the eye injury, and having double vision for that long, that must have been crazy. How did you get through that time? I know you're a big family guy. I know you got a great wife and family and all that. I'm sure that's a big part of it, trying to get you through those dark times, especially with COVID as well. We had all this crazy stuff happen this year, right?
Yeah. I did really well for like the first 6 months. I just stay focused. I mean, a lot of people don't know, but I'm also a professional day trader. I trade futures contracts and stuff. So I just like went into the stock market hard. I'd wake up every day, I mean, if I'm trading the futures, I'm already up at 4 a.m. to check to see what's going on in the world and get ready for the day. So I just like 100% went in the stock market hard. I was making good money there. So I was like, well, this is at least something I can do. And, I also, like, in the back of my mind, it's like, this might be the transition, this might be it. So I did that, and then after like 6 months of being stuck in the house, like I couldn't drive, I couldn't leave the house really. So like, I mean, I was on lockdown before the lockdown even started, and I started to lose it a little bit. You know, like the last 3 months, like I really was getting depressed. I wasn't really feeling that well. You know, like I was just sick of it, and all I did was trade stocks, and I ran a lot. And like I taught myself how to run while seeing double. You know, I mastered the route, so I just kind of like learned. It's crazy to think about, but I just learned how to have double vision.
Yeah,
And
I'm sure you have to. You have to adapt. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually one of the weirdest parts is when I got the surgery and the double vision went away, my coordination was garbage. Because I was so used to seeing double that I would routinely go to grab my coffee and just like totally whiff and spill it everywhere. Or like I just was making like so many mistakes like that. So it's been a crazy year for me. You know, it's been one of the hardest years, but also you know, me and fighting have never been like best pals. You know, it's something I'm very good at, but I never really. I'm an antisocial person. Like I never really wanted to be in the public light. So there was parts of fighting that like maybe in the back of my mind I always thought like I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And when it was taken away from me, I sort of had to switch that mindset, and I started seeing all the things that I loved about it. You know what I mean? And the things that it's given me, and maybe I take it for granted. You know, all my friends are fighters, all my friends are coaches, all my entire life has revolved around this sport. For, you know, this is where I grew up. This is where I became a man. This is how I got the things to start to feed my family. And so I think I took a lot of that stuff for granted. So when I came back, a certain pressure of the fight world has been lifted, and I'm enjoying it maybe a little more than I otherwise would have.
No, that's an interesting perspective, and kind of, I guess when you have stuff like that happen that's unexpected, you kind of have to look at things a little bit differently, so that's good. Just one more thing on the eye, like, do you think there is a solution to avoid eye pokes? I mean, you know, there's been talk about the gloves, there's been, you know, other stuff. Like, after going through this, is there anything you wish would be a little bit different in terms of MMA? Because eye pokes do happen a lot.
You know, I have noticed that right afterwards, because I think that I think this eye poke got to like it got through the messages, you know, because the ref didn't even stop the in the fight. You know, when the eye poke happened, I was like, it was insanely painful. I remember I screamed and I was like, ah! and like I looked and I look out like this. And the ref's like, fight. And I'm like, are you serious? And the guy just tries to like come after me and kill me. And so like, I think after that, I noticed that in all their fights, I noticed the refs calling it a lot more. I've noticed that they've taken a more serious stance, you know, because, you know, I'm the guy who almost lost his freaking eye. So I think that got through the messages a little bit. But in general, I think one, you know, we need, just, you know, MMA has had the same problem all the time. We need better refs and we need better judges, you know. Maybe put someone in these positions that's actually fought before or actually has some kind of ability to see what's happening. You know what I mean? Like to see like when I mean I got poked in the eye and my eye almost came out, you know, like and the ref didn't even see it. So I don't know if that's fixable. You know, we definitely need better refs and stuff. And then also I think there should be penalties for it. You know what I mean? Because it the way it became known, you know, people study tape and stuff. It's like, if you want to fight me, right, there's a way that in the past has been able to beat me, and it's to point, fight, and run away, right? Yeah, I get frustrated. I don't care about the little shots and stuff, but the judges score them a lot. And so then I try to fight and I try to chase the guy down and I end up getting outpointed. You know, that's how you win a fight. Well, also, the last 3 or 4 fights I had, the guys, all of them were poking me in the eyes, you know, running backwards and poking in the eyes. Because if you're going backwards and I'm charging and I'm not worried about the punches coming in, because I'm pretty good about dodging punches. I'm pretty good about at least having them land on the forehead. Like, these things are not going to knock me out, right? So they know that they came up with a better solution, poke you in the eye, right? And for the last 4 fights, like, I never studied like how to avoid freaking eye pokes. That's not something like you don't go into a fight thinking like, oh, well, I probably shouldn't go in like this because I'm going to get poked in the freaking eyes, right? I'm trying to protect my chin. I'm trying to protect the temples. I'm trying to protect things that matter. And so I think it's been almost not encouraged, but it's been rewarded to poke people in the eyes, to run backwards and poke people in the eyes. And then once you get them, then you can charge, you can hurt them. And so I think it's a shady game, and I think fighting in general has become, the more money it comes, the more shady it gets, and especially fighters and what they're willing to do to win. And so, there used to sort of be kind of like a code, like, don't poke people in the fucking eyes, don't kick them in the nuts, but that seems to have faded a little bit. And so, yeah, I guess I don't know what the answer is. I mean, the gloves could get better, the Pride gloves, but I think you just have to enforce it. You take some points away, these people are going to stop poking you in the eyes.
Yeah. No.
And as someone who just almost lost his eye, I can tell you, it sets you back in the fight. It definitely puts you at a disadvantage. So even with the point, right? I have one eye, and it's even worse because I have 2 and I got double vision or whatever, But yeah, so I don't really know the answer to that question, but.
No worries. No, you brought up a lot of good points, and I think it's something that needs to be discussed a little bit more in the sport because it does keep happening. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. Let's talk about Mike Grundy here. 12-2 record. What do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him?
I feel I match up good. Anyone that wants to fight, I feel like that's a good fight for me. Like I said, if you want a point fight, run away, poke me in the eyes, you have a decent shot of frustrating me and getting away with it. All right? If you want to come and fight, most of the time that ends badly for people. I think that this guy is very strong, very good. I think people underestimate how good of a wrestler he is because he comes from, he's a Britain guy, Europe guy. So, usually we don't respect their wrestling all that much, but he's a very talented wrestler, strong, has enough power to hurt you if you're reckless. So I think he's a very good opponent. I think I match up really well with him. I think I have the experience. I think I have the power. I think I have the edge in it, and physically and everything else. But, he's definitely a tough fight. He's definitely if there's like a under the radar type guy, I think this is a really good guy. I think it's going to be an exciting fight, and I'm looking forward to it.
And as far as bodies in the gym, who've been some of the main guys you've been working with getting ready for this fight?
Well, I did a lot of sparring with Gilbert Burns. I did a lot of sparring with Michael Chandler. Did a lot of sparring with some other guys that aren't as well known, kickboxers and stuff like that. And but mostly I've been kind of sticking together with Gilbert a lot. A couple of my friends, Marquez, who's been my coach, who went with me to beat Will Brooks and stuff like that in Australia. I worked with him a lot. And then just a couple of guys that, are under the radar kickboxers and also just wrestlers. I have the best wrestlers in the game. Kami is an amazing wrestler. I train with him every day. I have Greg. So
yeah, it's a good crew of guys over there. I wanted to ask you about, obviously Gilbert's got his fight against Kamaru, and I know Kamaru actually came back and trained for a bit. I know it's not a thing in the gym, but how is that, just knowing that you got 2 teammates fighting for a title?
I don't think about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me. I don't care.
Yeah.
So, I've been fighting a long time. I same with wrestling. I remember when I was in high school, my other team captain, it was me and another guy. Like, we wrestle all the time, going to national tournaments and stuff like that. So I guess I'm more used to the idea of fighting. I think if there's obviously a title or number 1 contender, I think that then all bets are off. You can fight whoever. I think before that, there's no reason for it to fight your teammate. I don't think there's ever a reason to fight any of your teammates unless it's number 1 contender or for the title. But I think once it's time to do that, just throw down, fight, and the gym wins. If we have 2 people fighting for the title, that means we have a pretty damn good gym. It's something to be proud of.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. How's the weight cut going? Because again, I know you've been off for a bit. You can train probably like how you wanted. How's all that going? Getting down to 45, especially with the travel. You're going to be going to Abu Dhabi.
The weight is fine. Actually, during, like I said, I was stuck at home, so I ran a lot this year. I ran more this year than I've ran in my entire life, probably times two. So I was running a lot. I actually kept my weight really low, and then I got my eye surgery, and right after I got my eye surgery, I got freaking COVID. So I was like, and that actually I gained like freaking 10 pounds from the stupid COVID, and it was hard to train and stuff like that. So kind of right before the camp, like I was a little heavier than I wanted to be, but strict diet, very, very disciplined, for the last 3 months. So my weight is good. I feel good. Everything is good.
How's the fight unfolding on January 16th?
Well, I mean, you never know what happens in a fight, The last one I went in with 2 eyes and came out with 1. So, I mean, there's you never know exactly what's going to happen in the fight. But I think I think my striking is, on a different level. I think that I think the skills I possess will take care of this, And I think I could catch him in either a guillotine or I could knock him out.
Any extra pressure going into this one, just coming off the losses and the UFC seemingly, cutting 60 fighters, I think, going forward? Is that something that's crossed your mind at all?
No, there's no more pressure than any other fight. I mean, I know this position I'm in, but the UFC has been good with me. I mean, they told me right after the fight that they were going to extend the contract because I was going to be injured, and so they've always been nice to me. I've always said this, and I think people they use the right reasons, but they kind of come up with the wrong decision. Is like the UFC is not hard to work with. If you're a decent person and you talk to them and you work with them, they'll work with you. And they're not out to like cut everybody or rip you off or not pay you what you're supposed to be paid, and every young fighter, including myself, always thinks they should make more money and all this kind of stuff. But the UFC has always been very fair with me, and as long as I really believe this in all business, but especially with the UFC, I believe if as long as you're like a decent person and you're honest and you talk to them, then your job is secure. Obviously, if I lost this fight, I probably would for sure get cut. There's probably no doubt about it. That my UFC career would probably be over. But I don't think I'm going to lose, and I'm going to put on a hell of a fight. So I've been in these situations before, and I've always seemed to rise to the occasion. I don't feel like this is any different.
Nice. I like that. You talked a bit about stocks and stuff. Do you and Eddie Alvarez trade notes at all? Because he's really big into the stock market.
No. I know the same guy. I know a guy. I know one of the stock market guys I know knows Eddie too, and then we're different kinds of traders.
Okay.
I mean, Eddie is kind of like a I think he's just like like a regular. He buys stocks and holds them for a while and stuff.
You're a future guy, yeah.
I day trade futures, so it's a little different, and then I swing trade options contracts. So I'm not an investor. I have no purpose in that field. Like I'm not buying it. The only reason I'm buying is because I think it's going to go up. I don't give a crap about the business. I don't give a crap about anything. I usually am always levered to the max, because I buy futures contracts. So I trade the futures, and it's been a profitable experience, but it's also I've had 3 passions in my life. I've had wrestling, and then that turned into fighting, and then I got into stocks, and it was just an instant hit for me. And I actually was I'm no fool. I know you can't fight forever. So many years ago, I was starting to look into starting gyms or doing some online stuff. And I actually had put a bunch of money into a business that I was going to start. And as I was doing that, I was just like, I really don't like this stuff, and I was actually good at it. I'm good at anything I want to be good at, So I was doing the business, and then I started trading stocks, man. And I had put maybe 30 or 40 grand into this business, and I just dropped it. And I took all the rest of the money and I threw it in the stock market, and I had that money back within a few months. And I was just like, and I enjoyed it, you know. So I was like, this is what I'm going to dedicate my life to after fighting. And so I really enjoy the stock market. I really enjoy trading futures, and yeah, you know, like I've put an ungodly amount of work into this. So like it's not something that I suggest other people do. You know, it's a hardcore.
It's not
business.
Easy. Otherwise, everyone would be doing it, right? There's definitely some work on it.
Everyone is trading stocks now and just buying stuff, and it goes up. But that will go away, and all those people will lose, and all those people will lose all their money. And so, like, you know, now's the time to get good at trading stocks, you know, and stuff like that. But yeah, I trade e-minis and stuff like that mostly. So.
Do you know the guy who runs Barstool, Dave Portnoy? He does day trading now, and he actually live streams it, and he's actually making money off that because people are watching his live streams.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing that like the stock market does. See, everyone assumes that the stock market just steals your money right away. But if it did that, it would be too easy. You know what I mean? The stock market loves to pay idiots. And so the very first thing you do, like I said this before, I said it on Twitter and stuff, the very first year I traded, I made 1,000 times my money. So, or 1,000%, not 1,000 times, 1,000%. And I had no idea what I was doing. I just bought a stock and it went up a lot. You know, I got lucky. And that's what a lot of people are doing now, because it's sort of, we're in this sort of like Fed-induced kind of stocks go up, and this can happen for years, you know. But just like the tech bubble, just like everything else, these people always give it all back. And so it's like the game. It's like, you know, if you went to a casino and you never won, no one would ever go to a casino.
They wouldn't operate. Yeah, exactly.
And the stock market is way worse than that. Once you get hooked, it'll steal everything you have if you don't know what you're doing.
For sure. And how about crypto? We were talking actually on Twitter, I think a couple of weeks ago with Bitcoin. It's really high up. Do you have a lot in crypto right now, or are you just sort of playing around with it?
Well, I had Bitcoin since it was like $100. You know?
Nice. Okay.
So like actually MMA was some of the first people to have Bitcoin. You know, if you look at some of the old fights, like the really old ones, you'll see Bitcoin sponsorships on their shorts.
I think Rory McDonald had a Bitcoin sponsorship when he was in Bellator, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
So there was a lot of them, and this is way before early UFC and stuff. So like they tried to kind of get in on the up and coming UFC. You know, all these companies failed; they're all gone now. But I'm not a huge investor in Bitcoin. But like I said, I've had some. I've spent it. I got rid of most of it on the original blow off top. You know, when I went up to like 17 from nothing. And so I still have a little bit somewhere in the house. You know, I got it in cold storage and some little thumb drive I have down here, you know. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have that big a feeling on Bitcoin, you know. Like, it's not, like I said, I'm not an investor. I'm only out to make money, and once I make the money, I take it away, I keep it, you know. So is it a good investment here? You know, I don't know. I always take the route that governments will never give up control of their money. So if you think you're going to like really kind of fly around and buy some freaking Bitcoin and you're going to be able to do whatever you want to do, and it'll throw your ass in jail. You know, the governments are crooked. They'll take all your money. So I think it's a great speculative vehicle. I think it's a great thing to trade. I think you can buy it and make a crap ton of money. I just don't think it's something you should fall in love with and put out, you know, and like, I think Bitcoin, like the stock market, it's paying people. You know what I mean? It's paying to be reckless. It's paying to just put it all in, and it just doubles and triples, and right? Eventually that stops, and you end up giving it all back because you think this dip is not going to go, and it goes to nothing. So just be careful with it. You know, put your stop losses in and bet the farm. And then if it doesn't work out, well, you lose a little money, but at least you get to keep the bulk of it.
I saw you posted a kind of like a meme the other day from Trailer Park Boys. Are you a fan? Do you watch the show? It was something about the government and the stimulus check. I was watching that on your feed.
I've seen some of it, but no, my wife sent me that one, so I have to give her credit for that. Yeah,
because it's huge here in Canada. Because it's filmed obviously in Nova Scotia. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It was just a meme. You know, this is telling the government saying, "Hey, I'll give you $600 to F off." You know.
Yeah.
Well, pretty ridiculous, you know. I mean, just to think that they shut down everybody's business and they give you $600. You're like, oh, well, great. And I get nothing. You know, they don't give me a damn thing. They say, hey, you made too much money in the stock market. You can F off. So.
No, that's true. Nik, thanks so much for doing this, man. We went way over time, but we could probably do another hour here just talking stocks and all types of stuff. Anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to plug, I'll give you the last word.
No, I mean, check me out on Twitter if you want to. You know, I mean, I'm not big on social media and stuff. It's one of the great things about being in the stock market is all sponsorship and stuff. I can make triple, double that in one day now. So what do I care? So I don't have to be like kind of a whore to social media and stuff. And I enjoy that. But I love interacting with fans. You know, I like that. I don't like being a billboard, but I do love talking to fans and stuff. So if you ever want to hit me up, it's at Nik Lentz, at NIK LENTZ, and just hit me up and we can talk.